Welcome to part 2 of the review for Spyro the Dragon Reignited Trilogy. Here we take a look at the second game in the package, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. I'm not gonna go over some of the things this shares in common with the first. You should go watch the part 1 review if you haven't. The story this time is Spyro wanted to spend his vacation in Dragon Shores. He blindly jumps into the first portal he sees and ends up in a different world called Avalar. Because the people in there are trying to get rid of a bully called Ripto, and they needed a dragon for the job. The plot here is about as thin as in the first game. They don't really explain why Ripto doesn't like dragons or why that matters. Spyro can't go back to his world without enough orbs to provide power to the portal anyway, so he decides to help. Quite a few changes were done to the design of the hub worlds and levels. Both became less barren. They didn't feel bigger, but if you try for completion, you're definitely gonna spend a little longer in each level compared to Spyro 1. What really impressed me was how the game designed the progression of the main objective in each level. The path and task, if you just want to clear the level and get its talisman, is short and intuitive. It's basically Super Mario Odyssey, but decades before Mario Odyssey. Unfortunately, the orb requirements for most of the game were so low. This approach misled me into thinking I could just speed clear the story without worrying about completing the other objectives. I got to the door leading to the final boss with 15 orbs. I'm asked for 40 orbs. On the bright side, rushing for the final door had one advantage. I was able to spend the gems I got in the way to unlock Spyro's 3 additional moves. Climbing, swimming, and this head pound move that I think I only needed twice in my entire playthrough. Some orbs and gems can't be reached without unlocking certain abilities first, so this made the job of backtracking to collect 24 more orbs a lot faster than I thought it would be. By the way, the orbs replace dragon statues as the main MacGuffin to unlock portals, while talismans, of which there is one per level, are needed to unlock hub worlds. Gems are spent on a British bear who seems to be everywhere exclusively to paywall you. There is an extra currency you get for each enemy you defeat in a level. This currency unlocks access to timed power-ups like Superfly, a long-range, stronger fire breath that can destroy special containers, among other things. Spyro also has a new ability called Hover. With the press of a button at the end of the glide, you can get some extra height and landing control. Honestly, this is a game changer that solves the problems I had with gliding in the first game. As you can see, this sequel adds a lot of meat and feeling to the template set by the first game, so it's no surprise some people consider it the best of the trilogy. I'm definitely not one of those people. The levels do look better and have more life to them. It's very nice that Spyro can do more things like swimming, and having the opportunity to fly in normal levels is great. However, because this game requires 40 out of 64 orbs in order to let you face the final boss, you spend a lot of time doing favors to helpless NPCs. The challenges you're given are very hit or miss. Half of them are simple platforming and exploration, the other half involves tedious chores. A few of them can be incredibly annoying. All in all, they felt like watered down versions of the type of quests you get in a game like Banjo-Kazooie. The first game was more barren and basic, but I'll take barren, basic, straightforward platforming and collectible tracking any day over the execution of the orb hunts. Another reason why I still prefer the first game is the setting. I get that the design of the dragons only became interesting in the remake. In the original they were all generic palette swaps. But I wanted to interact more with the dragon worlds in a post-rescue setting, not be sent to a completely separate setting. Avalar is just very disjointed. I don't know what kind of world they wanted to build with this. You have fawns, naked cheetahs with a bow, scientists, weird humanoid monks, robots, caterpillars warring with birds using rockets, guys in the tick costumes, Eskimos, and whatever this is. At first I thought it was going to be fairy tale themed, but very few levels have anything to do with that. Levels aren't even thematically consistent with the hub worlds they're found at. To top it all, none of the problems you help solve in the levels have anything to do with Ripto, you know, the main antagonist. So I just don't care at all for the setting, which kills some of my investment in the game. I don't know what was going on in so many games at the time, but the impression I get playing Spyro 2 is that someone just really wanted a dragon for a platformer protagonist because they thought dragons were really cool. But then they fell out of interest in the dragon theme. Spyro is still needed a sequel, so here you go, let's just put Spyro with a bunch of random DreamWorks bootleg rejects. If you think having all sorts of little tasks and random challenges in levels makes for a more complete collectathon experience, you're probably gonna like Spyro 2. It's way less janky than the first game, with platforming that's more tight and creative, but personally I can only say I didn't hate the game, but I'm probably never gonna revisit this one again. The busy work approach really outweighs every improvement done for the levels. I said in part 1 you should avoid the Switch version because of the performance, but you really should go with the PC version specifically. The camera in Reignited Trilogy is way too close to Spyro, which makes it easy to lose track of incoming attacks and other things. The camera is absolutely atrocious during the boss fights in Spyro 2, and I can't believe Toys for Bob really didn't think players needed an option to zoom it out, which you can do with modding on PC. See you in part 3.